Good evening, Speed Gaming. Welcome to Rando After Dark as we present the lower bracket semifinals for the Speed Gaming Live spoiler tournament. Um, Great match tonight. Gammachuu versus Jamo. Winner of this will move into the top three, which will put them in the money. They will face Relkin. Loser will be fourth, which unfortunately does not come with a cash prize in this tournament. So some incentive to at least advance out of this. I'm Drossi here with the legendary Wall Kicks. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. Drossi, it sounds like you have your late night voice going. You seem to have like that, you don't want to speak too loudly because it's late, people on the East Coast might be going to sleep, so you're like, I want to give you the sultry tones in my voice to kind of lure you to sleep. But this is a really good matchup. I'm sorry.
I mostly don't want the neighbors complaining.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is a spoiler seed. So for those of you who don't know, the runners have had 15 minutes to examine the spoiler log to come up with the best route. I can say for sure, I'm not going to go ahead and say, hey, here's where everything is, but I can say I have seen the spoiler. This is going to be a fast seed. There is not a lot gatekeeping our runners this seed. So expect quick movement. Expect, this is going to be a fast one.
And our fantastic tracker Arya Stark has already marked pendants and crystals. So, for example, we know we don't need the ice rod. Oh, as Gamma has a false start.
The Gamma has already messed up, which is kind of funny because, like,
well, that's the race right there.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, like, he should have at least picked up the chest because
there's
something in the chest that he's gonna want.
Yeah, Jamo skipped the heart container.
That's a little surprising because that is a very free heart container. Yeah, because like when it comes to spoiler, on top of the fact that you know where everything is, you also have to settle with the fact that you're probably going to be fairly low. But like there's not going to be a lot. You're going to be on 4 hearts, 5 hearts. If you're lucky, 6 hearts. Maybe you get an armor. Maybe you don't. So the fact that there was such a free heart container is a little surprising that we didn't go get it on Jamo's side. He might pick it up right here, though.
But in either case, our runners have both... Oh, there we go. He's picking it up. But yeah, our runners have both gotten the glove and a few bombs, so that's a good start. The bombs were probably going straight to the back of Saha's hut, where the boots are sitting.
Yeah, and usually when it comes to routing a spoiler log, the first thing you search once you open the spoiler log is boots, and maybe even the flute as well, which we will actually be picking up right after the boots right here.
Yeah, they're the 2 most important movement items, so the earlier you can get them, the better.
Little bit surprised, because I know that there is something else in the castle that we need to go get, and maybe this is just a matter of, hey, I want the boots to make that run a little bit faster. Because it would only cost us 1 bomb to go get.
Well, we are going to Sank. Ooh, Moon Pearl. Yeah, we do kind of need that. Gamma probably could have.
Yeah, I was like, Gamma could have just picked that up real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, having the boots for back of escape will save us a bomb.
And that's another thing is resource management, especially early game. Are you able to kind of route in enough money for, say, like pod in a seed where you need to go to pod? In this case, pod is a pendant. You will notice our wonderful tracker Arya has already marked all of the pendants and crystals because again, this is a spoiler seed, so we already know what dungeons we will need to be doing. And so when it comes to stuff like item management and resource management, that is another thing you have to take in consideration when doing a spoiler seed.
And looks like we are headed to Bonk Rocks on our way to activate the flute and cack. I didn't actually check what was in Bonk Rocks.
Remember when I said this was going to be a fast seed?
Yeah.
Like
Hookshot's nice.
We are, like I said, we are going to be getting everything very quickly.
This is like the seed of everything in Sphere 1 or something.
Almost. This is an almost everything in Sphere 1 kind of seed. There are a couple of loose ends that we will need to go track down, but nothing too crazy. Do see a little bit of divergence here, by the way.
Yeah, hammer at Aegina, so it's certainly nice to have that flute early. You don't want to have to hike all the way over there. Ether. I wonder if Jamo's just doing that as a safety, or...
It feels like a safety. By the way, one bow in Blind's Hut, one bow on Bottle Merchant. So yes, we're going to have silvers, because of course we are.
I would say we'll have silvers.
Like I said, this is going to be a fast seed.
I guess we still need to dig up like the fire rod and the mirror and the flippers.
The only real the only real thing that I would even consider out of the way, which honestly, given what the seed is, it's not going to be out of the way, are the mitts. I won't spoil where they are, but there is a little bit that we will have to be doing in order to go get those mitts. Everything else is either before the Moon Pearl or in a dungeon that we need to do.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, though, that you say that, because I'm seeing that Mirror is in Mire, and of course Mire is locked behind the mitts.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we do see a little bit of routing divergence, although in the end, it looks like Jamo's came up a little bit on top. They're both going in different directions, which, I think is fine. I don't suspect Jamo is... Well, I don't think Jamo has anything to even do Hera. I don't think Gamma is going to go to Hera. Once he picks up this hammer here in Aegina's Cave, Hera very much feels like we'll do it right before we go into GT, or as we're heading to GT kind of thing.
Well, the one thing about Hera is it does have the lamp.
Yeah, but I think it's in the big chest. I admittedly didn't look to see where
it's in the big chest, but the big key's in the map chest, so you can just grab the big key on your way to Herapot.
It would be maybe a little interesting, but the thing is, we just picked up the fire rod here in Mini Moldorm Cave, and that very much feels like, we don't need to pick up the lamp at this point.
Well, we're not getting half magic. I just checked for that, and that's in Rando Room.
Yeah, we are not going that far into GT. So Gamma already hitting Dark World, going to be hitting up Hype Cave right here. He's got to be a little bit careful with his bombs, but does have 2, which is what you need. Might go at some point and buy some, although there's 3 right there. I like I said, I looked at the sport log. I didn't look too deep into the sport log. Does get the book, which gives a little indication is potentially that we might be heading into a desert dip at some point.
While I was looking at GT, some fun things that we won't be getting, like the Ice Rod. Just in case you were tempted to beat Pendant Trinex, you're not, because it's in GT Big Chest.
That's a fun Ice Rod, let me tell you.
And there's a Sword and Tile room, so I don't think we're going higher than Tempered.
No, but we will be getting Tempered. The other swords, I don't believe, were in too bad of a position.
Okay, I haven't checked the other 3.
Still seeing a little bit of divergence here. Gamma is going to be going to get the fire rod. Basically, Gamma is setting up for what appears to be a desert clear with the fire source. Jamo, meanwhile, going over to Eastern, knowing the fact that Pod is essentially dead at this point. There's no reason to go into Pod. Doing Eastern Palace, there's really not a good time. There's no, you kind of do it whenever. It does get a sword though.
And the silvers will make everything a joke anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here is Gamma into Desert, as you were saying, with that book grab. It's interesting to see all this divergence. I guess we'll see how it plays out with whether one of these runners turns out to have better routing.
It's definitely, because the seed is so fast with the items, but at the same time, some of the dungeons like Eastern, there's no reason to combo it in with Pod, so Eastern is just kind of a when do I feel like doing it almost kind of thing. And that's what you see Jamo doing right now.
Well, Desert, and with that sword, that's certainly an incentive too.
Yeah, definitely. Like it'll make dashing easier. One of the things about having early boots is that we don't have a sword to kind of, we can't just dash through enemies. We have to run around them if needed. It hasn't hurt Gamma right now, but Jamo does have that little bit of protection should he, find himself almost dashing into an enemy.
Yeah, so Gamma's gonna have to hookshot the Popos in here, for instance.
Exactly, and it's little things like that in a race like this that is, like I said, going to be very fast that, could be the difference, because spoiler races, spoiler alert, tend to be very close.
I believe we saw a 4-second win a couple rounds ago.
Yeah, and I believe, what you mentioned a 4-second one. I don't know if you're referencing the Gammachuu race, but like that was like what, a 3-second difference or something
Oh,
like
I
that.
didn't even know. I was thinking of Skelly Specs. I didn't realize Gammachuu was also so close.
Yeah, Gammachuu had a very, very close race. So there's so many things that can go right or wrong. That every slip up, every little time save that you can think of, like all of that is going to add up to a difference here. And I did mention that there was really just one thing out of the way. It was the mitts. That's Gamma not even going to get the pendant, which makes sense.
Oh, dang, yeah, I'm just looking up Broken Gamma. That was indeed a 3-second finish.
Yeah.
And that is how Gamma wound up in the lower bracket.
Mm-hmm. Heading
though,
over to King's Tomb, I did not actually see what was here.
I think it's a sword.
Okay, that would make sense. Yeah, I do know that we were gonna finish tempered likely. I just forgot where the swords are.
Yeah, King's Tomb is an easy enough pickup once you have the mitts.
Definitely.
And there's Jamo getting his book, which, again, with the mirror being in Mire, the book is hard required.
Yes. Jamo did pick up an extra heart piece. This is another thing when it comes to routing, is you need to look at what you are comfortable with as a low percent runner. Are you comfortable on 5 heart green melt for the entire seed? Do you want to, are you able to find heart containers that are convenient, that won't, take up too much time? Obviously, the heart container Link's house, very convenient, no issues there. But if if as you're perusing the spoiler log, you find that there's a heart container in pod right now, and maybe we're not going to pod, suddenly you got to think to yourself, okay, are there 4 heart pieces that I can get pretty easily to give me an extra heart throughout the seed?
I'm also just going and looking at some of these runners' histories in terms of how we got here, because we started talking about that 3-second decision, which was the winner's bracket semifinals.
That felt like so long ago. Still.
Yeah, well, with everyone traveling and all that.
It does make sense that the upper bracket tends to go a little bit quicker than the lower bracket, but yeah, Rokun did knock Gamma into the lower bracket. Gamma's been on a pretty strong run ever since. Jamo has also been on a really good run ever since. Like, both of these runners have been fantastic.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jamo also made it to the winner's bracket semifinals. He lost to Telethar by 1:19, still reasonably close. That was 1 month ago today, just to show you like how this is spread out. And since then, Gamma took down Andy, knocked him out of the tournament, and Jamo took down Skelly. A lot of big names here.
Yeah, and when it comes to spoiler, you get the best of the best when it comes to the runners.
Yeah, Gamma versus Andy was a rematch of last year's championship.
There you go. All right, so we're seeing, we're kind of doing some convergence on what has been done by both of our runners. It looks like Gamma might end up a little bit ahead, maybe, depending on when Jamo goes to get the Master Sword. Although, given that Gamma's going to have to pick up this crystal, Jamo actually might be slightly ahead here.
Right, little cutscene.
Mm-hmm. Or we're just going to be tied. That's another possibility. Like, we're going to be seconds apart. The more I look at it, the more no, Gamma's going to have the smallest of leads.
They've been seconds apart when they haven't been diverging, so it doesn't surprise me too much.
Yeah. All right, so there's 2 more things that we need for the seed for Go mode. We need the Mirror, which we have already hinted to the fact that it is in Mire, and since Swamp is a crystal, we have to go get the flippers.
And I believe Mire Shed has our 3rd sword, so you were saying about Tempered's gonna happen pretty easily.
Yep. And you saw Gamma with a little bit of a trick there that you see sometimes is that, Gamma jumped into the water to give him the iframes to be able to just dash right through the sparky balls of death. Jamo did not. It's almost little things like that in a seed like this that's going to matter.
Yeah, Jamo cost him like an extra second or two just to go around the sparks.
But yeah, suddenly we're in Misery Mire, which again, as we've hinted, is where the Mire is. I didn't see like where the big key was or anything like that. It looks like
I didn't check that either.
Yeah.
And beyond that, we just need the flippers, don't we?
Yeah, which is why I was a little surprised that we didn't get the flippers when we were at the very beginning, because the flippers are in Hyrule Castle. I believe in Boomerang chest, so not the first chest, but second chest. But I'm pretty sure the small key in Hyrule Castle is actually in map chest. So you could have just grabbed that small key, ignore the guard right there, and the only guard that you're killing, or defeating, excuse me, is the one right before the Boomerang chest, which would have only cost one bomb. So it's a little bit of an optimization, but maybe you just wanted to come here with boots and a sword just to make it easier.
Okay, I like this routing. Both of the runners are skipping bridge chest for a moment. That's where the Mire is, but since you know the Mire is there, it's easier to go get the big key first, which is in map chest, and then you just hook shot over to bridge chest on your way to the basement.
Yeah. And I had to think, like, I don't play spoil enough to sit here and be like, I know what every chest in each dungeon is. I guess the map chest is the one over here.
Right side.
I would have assumed it was the one above the vanilla big key chest on left side, but nope, it is not. See, this is why I don't play this mode.
Yeah, so you'll see both runners hook shot over to grab the Mire off the bridge.
Yep. This is going to be a little bit dangerous, though, for both of our runners, in the sense that, we do not have the lamp, which, as you mentioned, is in Tower of Hera. We do not have any form of safety. So Gamma is going to be doing, Dark Mire on 4 hearts. Jamo is also going to be doing Dark Mire on 4 hearts. And there are some things in this area that can be dangerous.
Okay, so both runners immediately jumped off the bridge after grabbing the Mire. I thought it was faster to dash down the bridge and then jump off, just because the camera moves slower when you to reset the room when you fall than dashing moves you.
Your guess is as good as mine on that one, to be completely honest.
I mean, now we're talking like super technical optimizations that might give you half a second. Ooh, Gamma having trouble with Spooky.
It does not look like he got it, so he's just going to go ahead and get out. Jamo having trouble here, down to 1 heart. Not sure if he was able to get
1.5. Let's see where safeties like Powder and Males are. Powder's Pyramid Fairy. We are not getting that.
You're definitely not getting that. It looks like neither runner was able to get Spooky. Both have to be, again, a little careful.
Thieves Big has a male. Maybe we detour to get that. And the others in Hookshot Cave, probably not getting that.
Probably not, no. To answer a question in chat, they have all that gear because this is a spoiler seed. The runners know where everything is. Oh, Jamo!
Ooh! Yikes! He just realized that is bad, especially in Mire. You have to go through Mire 2 again.
Yeah, that's... it's really unfortunate that, you took a death there, but it is a risk when it comes to the spoiler, that you are going to be sometimes having to do low percent stuff. And, having to do Dark Mire, low percent, is one of the toughest things to do. He did get through what I would consider the most difficult part, but unfortunately kind of just double guessed himself a little bit with the last anti-fairy and took the hit and took the death, unfortunately.
And we don't have like any good safeties. I was just looking for bottles, and 2 of the bottles come with bees, and the only bottle that comes with a red potion is in Hammer Pegs. There are no balls with fairies or anything.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's gonna be a low percent race, kind of throughout.
And the net is on Zora's Ledge, so I don't think we're going there to catch fairies.
Mm-hmm. So another thing about spoiler races is that the runners are free to watch the restream, to watch their opponent, because it is a spoiler. It's not like you're gaining information as to where items are. If Gamma, is watching the race or noticing, doing a check, he might have noted the fact that Jamo maybe took a death, and thus he can probably, I don't want to say breathe easier, but he might know that he is very much ahead at this point.
Yeah, so for example, he'll probably now grab Blue Mail if he knows that, because he has plenty of time to do it.
Mm-hmm. But another thing is that I know a lot of runners tend not to immediately see where their opponent is. They tend to kind of do it more towards the end of a spoiler seed, maybe kind of as they're going to GT, or as they get Crystal 6 or whatever, but basically later on in the spoiler. So it'd be a little bit surprising if either runner, or if Gamma has checked and noted the fact that he is ahead. Jamo does get Mire done the second time, so no additional time lost there.
And Gamma is grabbing this small key, so that says to me that he is planning to get the mail,
which is understandable, and especially since it's right next to the big key, that that didn't take an extra. That didn't take any additional time. Another thing that you can think of is that maybe he's grabbing that small key so he doesn't have to rush all the way up to get the small key under the pot.
That's a possibility, but here he is getting the small key under the pod. So yeah.
I was going to say, it looks like Jamo wasn't as far behind as I thought, but then I remembered that Gamma did go ahead and get the flippers out of escape. Gamma is in full go mode at this point. There's nothing stopping him from finishing.
Yeah, what is Jamo getting out of here? Oh, another heart. Okay.
Yeah,
and that's twice shy.
Yeah, and that's another, that's a heart container where, like, if you are unsure about, do you feel comfortable about your equipment, that's an easy one to get. It costs a few seconds, but it's not that bad. Of course, with the death, one would maybe suspect that Jamo should have, maybe think to himself, okay, I just have to go balls to the wall, like, I have to skip everything possible. Another thought process is that, okay, well, I'm already very far behind. It's basically out of my hands at this point, so let's make myself as comfortable as possible in case Gamma makes a mistake.
Though Jamo is in fact going to be skipping the mail, so he is trying to make up some time with a bit of risk, which is interesting, because he did take the time to get that extra heart container, and if you're going to take a bit of extra time, I'd rather get the mail than one more heart container.
I would probably agree with that as well, but who am I to say what the runners should and should not be doing?
And they're having to make split-second decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamo's hallway a little bit rough, but got through it. Sometimes the enemies can just chill right in front of you, and you're like, well, I need you to move because y'all are in my way.
Well, at least we have Tempered here, so you can take down a Patrick Star pretty easily.
Yeah, having Tempered is really nice.
And on to Blind. It's funny, like, we're in go mode, and then I'm looking at, oh, this is only crystal number 3.
I mean, it's still crystal number 3 in 23 minutes. Like, even, even for a spoiler seed, we're booking it here. Gamma having a slightly off script, but not too bad. You also notice that Gamma is in chat, as I mentioned. Runners are allowed to watch the restream, so Gamma is acutely aware of his position right now against Jamo, so he knows that he has that he has a lead at this point.
Gamma is also apparently acutely aware of our tracker. Shoutouts again to Arya.
Oh yeah,
you do have to be ready to track things quickly in spoiler. because
and Arya was willing to do double duty, to do comms and tracking before I said I would also help out. So, shout out to Arya doing great things.
And since we don't need anything out of Skull Woods, Gamma's just going to steal the pot key and go straight to the back.
Sometimes you have to remember to get that key.
And as you said, it looks still fairly close, except that Jamo has to go back to escape to get the flippers.
Yep. Yeah, so Jamo, in their second run through Mire, got through Dark Mire, actually, I thought very, very nicely, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Jamo in general has been really impressive. He was formerly an Uter runner, and I think he took up ladder a little less than a year ago, and he's just been blazing.
There have been some really good runners who have kind of stepped up over the past year. Jamo is one of them. I think, just to name drop a few others, I know Sheffy has been around, maybe a year, and is, grinded hard on ladder to get as good as they are. So, runners, there's a good influx of newer runners to the community, and that's really good to kind of keep the community fresh and keep runners like Gammachuu, on their team, because, you can't get complacent in this community, or you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, to name drop another runner who's really impressed me lately, Faker Jr. has been around for 2 years or so, but suddenly his execution just got off the charts, and that's allowed him to become a really dominant runner.
And you're seeing that because, you look at you look at ladder, you look at the race time, and they're constantly in pickup races, they're constantly in ladder races. They're taking the time to work on their execution. They also hit up, the practice hacks. So they're out there showing that if you put in the time, if you put in the effort, you will get good. And Jamo, Sheffy, Faker Jr., all of these runners, kind of representing the next generation, the new generation, quote unquote, of random runners, and they're doing fantastic. Faker Jr. is in the semifinals of the Cross Keys tournaments.
Yeah,
I am the defending champion. Didn't make it to the brackets this year, so
And for the other big summer tournament, Jamo was runner-up in casual boots.
Yeah. The last sword, I believe, is in...
Oh, the last sword, the butter sword, is in tile room.
Yeah, GT tile room, so we're not going to be going there. So Gamma is into Swamp now. This is going to be kind of where the extra time that he gained on Jamo for going to get those flippers is now going to show itself. So, it looked like Jamo was still kind of within striking distance, for the most part, provided Gamma had a little bit of a flub. This is going to kind of be where Gamma's lead is actually really shown, because by the time Jamo gets the flippers and gets into Swamp, Gamma's probably done with Swamp.
Of course. Assuming Gamma doesn't take some horrible death, then he will win this, and his next opponent will be a rematch with Relkin for the opportunity to go to the grand finals and face Telethar.
Yep. So, really, again, top of the line runners right there. If you're interested in kind of learning routing, learning execution, so where you can get in the practice, Gamma, Relkin, Telethar, all runners you should watch, because they put in the work, similar to what we've seen with, like we mentioned earlier, with Jamo, with Faker, with Sheffy. These are just runners who have been around a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, Relkin's won Speedgaming Live twice. He's won League twice.
Mm-hmm.
Telethar's also won League.
Gamma is well known for being probably the best AD keys runner.
Well, he's also the reigning champion of this event, the spoiler tournament.
Yep, you mentioned how him and Andy, met again this year and were the two finalists last year. So that's crystal number 5 already for Gamma at the 28-minute mark. Jamo going to be just now starting Swamp, and like I said, this is kind of where you see the real difference in that Mire death.
Yeah, and Gamma actually pulled an upset over Andy last year because Andy won the winner's bracket, so Gamma had to beat him just to force a bracket reset and then beat him again to win the tournament.
And that's not an easy thing to do. You know, Telethar is in that position this year, being on the winner side finals, so he has the buffer of being able to drop a race, while as you know, the winner of this, as you mentioned, faces Relkin. Whoever wins that race will have to beat Telethar twice if they want to actually take the title. And you also mentioned this is kind of the money cutoff as well. I think the loser here, unfortunately, is not going to be in the money, while the winner becomes, or, you know, is in the money.
Right, and it's a 60-30-10 split. And the pool's a little over $200, I think. So the third place, you get $20-something. You know, not nothing.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Take yourself out for dinner.
Easy. I'm sure Gamma knows of a good taco place where he lives.
Sure, ice cream, please.
It's called Taco Bell or something. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, how many boxes of drumsticks can you buy with $20?
I bought some ice cream when I was at the grocery store today. Maybe I'll have something in honor of Gamma after this race. Chipotle with extra guacamole. Oh no, we have entered the food portion of the race, which means we got to get back to the race. Gamma Ice Palace, you know, makes it very easy with Icebreaker. I believe Gamma hit the switch, so he's not going to be looking for the Ice Palace big key. Just out of curiosity, where was it? I have this open. It was in Compass Chest. Like I said, I know my maps in Compass Chest. I don't. Don't ask me.
Wall kicks as we get close to the in-person portion of Speedgaming Live. Are you going to be there this year? I don't think I checked.
Unfortunately, no. The finances, some other trips, a sickness, kind of ate away at also my time off, but mostly the finances.
Yeah, flying across the country is not cheap.
It's not the flight more than it's the hotel.
Oh yeah, that's also not cheap.
Because like I can reasonably get fairly cheap flights on Southwest, but it's fine. Gamma's in a little bit of a pickle, but gets through it. That could have, like, you know, we kind of gloss over the fact that, you know, Gamma was killing Cold Stare, but he was in Oko mode had he taken a puff to the face, and that would have, you know, essentially tied up the runner, maybe even given Jamo the lead, given that Gamma would have needed to refill his magic.
Yeah, and that's the thing about spoiler log races. Like, it doesn't take much to swing them. It just takes one unfortunate death. We saw that with Jamo, and you said, you know, if Gamma had taken one, that could have swung the race right back.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, Gamma with 6 crystals going to go up to Hera for Crystal 7. Won't probably not be going to be getting the lamp. A little bit too far out of the way at this point. Although Gamma knows his position, that green potion right there is going to do wonders, because, you know, climbing GT with just the one magic bar and fire rod, you got to be a little bit careful with your magic. But I think with that green potion, we're just going to skip the lamp entirely. Okay, well, Gamma's going to make a liar out of me.
Yes, he did grab that big key, which the only reason you do that with Herapod is, oh, no, he just grabbed the big key because...
Okay, Gamma. Okay.
Why not? He's fluffing.
Yeah. Yep. We did unfortunately see a little bit of another issue on Jamo's side. It looked like Jamo realized kind of late into his trek into Ice Palace that probably didn't hit the switch, and thus had to mirror out because they didn't pick up the big key, which I think at this point is in the H room. I think that's the compass chest.
Yeah, you need to either hit the switch or get the big key. you're not gonna get to cold stare without doing one or the other.
Yeah. So yeah, so forced to mirror out. So again, just dropping more time, unfortunately. And this is just, Jamo has had a fantastic run, and as you mentioned, runner-up in casual boots. I think took first place in one of the recent 80 keys main tournament qualifier. Like, the skill is there. Just small thing, just some unfortunate things happening, and against Gamma, you can't have unfortunate things happen.
Now, I'm wondering here, since Gamma hadn't opened TR portal, would it have been faster for him to take the bottom portal and then just... I feel like it probably would have... Oh, no, but he's going... Making a liar out of me. I said, no way were they going into Hookshot Cave for the mail upgrade there, and there he goes into Hookshot Cave.
I mean, it's entirely Gamma recognizes his position. He sees
Right.
how far ahead he is. So, why risk a potential death in Upstart GT because you have blue mail and not red mail? Why risk those things? To kind of also go back to your point about what portal would have been faster, because Gamma was doing Hera, he was already up on top of the mountain. There would have been no point in jumping down to go into the portal to go through Super Bunny Cave. That would have just taken too much time.
Yeah, no. I meant if he had done the lower portal before Hera. Lower portal, go up through Super Bunny, and then Mire to do Hera. I'm not sure how that compares on time when you don't already have TR portal open.
I think given that, we have seen, because we are in the spoiler tournament, like the SGL spoiler, because we are seeing more and more spoiler races, I think that was something that people timed out, and I think it's been figured out that it is definitely faster if you're in a situation where you're just got to do Hera before going into GT, that it's faster just to do Hera and then run over to the portal on TR, go into the portal, and then run over to GT.
Okay, yeah, I know it's faster if you already have TR portal open. I just didn't know if it was still faster if you haven't yet opened TR portal.
Yeah, but GT big already. Again, we're 35 minutes into the seed and we're climbing GT already. Like I said, this was gonna be a fast speed.
Wow.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just that, like, my threshold for a fast spoiler race is sub 45 because that means it's less than an hour, even including the study time, and Gamma is well on his way to a sub 45.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, even for a spoiler time, even for a spoiler seed, this is fast. Yeah, Gamma gonna go ahead and climb 12 silver arrows. Does have full magic plus a green potion, so I don't think we're gonna see much issues. The pots are gonna come in handy as well if needed, although it looks like our enemies are in the arrow prize pack up here, so we're just gonna consistently attack and not even worry about our arrows if needed.
And chat's been invoking Telethar a bit, who of course is waiting in the grand finals for whoever of these runners or Relkin makes it there. Yeah, Telethar is just super analytical and has worked out so many things with timing and routings. He's come up with a new routing for pod if you're a bit less risk averse.
I think that's definitely another thing that we've seen grow significantly over the past year is, the actual focus on optimal routing in dungeons and like in specific scenarios that maybe we wouldn't see, a year, 2 years ago, which again points to the fact that this game is just getting more and more competitive. The top runners are getting better and better just every time.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, if you can find a routing that saves you time 95% of the time, if you're willing to lose time the other 5%, then you take the new routing.
Yep. So Gamma upstairs GT at this point, through the gauntlet, just has to get through these last few rooms. Really shouldn't have much issue. Does have a small key ready to go. Little too quick there with the fire rod shots, but not that big of a deal. He's not getting the key off of Mini Helmasaur. That tells me that there's definitely got to be a key in Pre-Moldarm chest, and there is.
Or else he's doubling back in a hurry. Okay, there is a vanilla key there.
I would say little bit of a flex there, but okay.
It is faster. Especially if you're already going in there to get the magic refill.
It's a room though that can also just go very bad very quickly. But Gamma is, very Gamma's one of the best at this game, and so he's able to, get through that room without getting bullied by the anti-fairy or the bunny beam right there.
We should also note Jamo's recovery. Like, he had a couple of rough things, that death in Mire and then having to mirror in ice. And he's still on the climb already with Gamma going into Aga 2. You know?
Yeah, and that again just paints to his his overall skill to be able to kind of keep it to within a reasonable distance.
I mean, I don't think we're within a Ganon fall, but still. Jamo's going into
Ganon fall, but yeah. The starting the gauntlet will probably be on Torches 1 or Torches 2 by the time Gamma finishes, again assuming Gamma has no issue.
Yeah, if Gamma has no issue, we're talking 41 minutes and change, which is insane.
I mean, still, 1-1 Silver's fight, yeah, what, 70 seconds maybe? So yeah, we're going to be barely above 41, which is just wild.
Yeah, I think maybe once or twice I've seen a sub 40, but anything in the low 40s is insanely fast for spoiler.
Gamma showing that it might look dangerous to be doing the dashes inside the fire bat circle, but you get used to the patterns and it's actually not that bad. I say as someone who has never bothered to learn that.
Well, and having grabbed Red Mail, he can afford 2 fire bats to the face, though we don't have to worry now. We're already on phase 3.
Ganon doing his best to assure that he will not sub 41 this seed.
Doesn't quite get the
little issue there at the end, but easy Ganon fight. GG's in chat for Gamma. We'll be moving on to the lower bracket finals to face Relkin. Yeah, that's about it.
And I'm sure their second match will be just as hype as their first match. And yeah, Gamma finishes with an official time of 41:11, or rather 56:11, because race time includes the study period. Either way, that's just amazing.
Absurd. And Jamo sees it. I'm assuming Jamo forfeits after seeing it. He had to have expected it, but
Jamo still forfeit.
Yeah, Jamo put up. Jamo did quite well to, get to the fact that he's right here on, basically about to be on Moldarm 2, and that's with a death to right before Vidi and having to mirror out in Hera. So, GG's for Jamo. Had a fantastic run through this tournament as well. Looks like we'll be getting at least Jamo, and I'm imagining Gamma will also probably be joining us, but I am not in the race room. We're joined by Jamo.
And we have Gamma. Here's Gamma. I was about to say, looks like he's in the waiting room. So yes, both of our runners. GG's, guys.
Hey, GG's, Jamo.
That was fast.
Yeah, I didn't see because I was in Thieves Town when I was gonna get a comparison where he was, and I saw him about to finish Mire, and that's when I realized, okay, I think he probably took a death in Mire.
Yeah, so I did the Dark Mire on 5 hearts. You probably did the same, right?
Yeah.
I got through it, and then I had 1 heart on the last screen. I was too nervous. I just totally choked it. Got hit by the anti-fairy.
Yeah. Oh, that really
That was
sucks.
just such a choke. That screen is so easy if you don't have 1 heart. But
Yeah.
Gamo's on 1.5 hearts, by the way.
Yeah, once you're nervous, once you're down to that Oko, you probably lose your nerves a bit. That's how I get. So it's very understandable. But yeah, that's when I was looking at Thieves Town to see where you were at to decide if I were gonna pick up the armor or not. So that made it a very easy call at that point. Like, okay.
Yeah, the armor, I skipped the armor, but not like it mattered at that point.
Yeah.
And then the other stupid thing, which it didn't matter because it was already over, but in ice, I went like halfway through ice and forgot to hit the switch, so I mirrored in. Had to go hit the switch.
Okay, yeah. Oh, that really sucks.
Very stupid things.
The seed was very free. The only thing that I really big screw up, if you want to call it big screw up, was me starting a Sanctuary, thinking I'm playing cross keys because that's my start. And then I realized immediately, I'm like, I'm so stupid. What am I doing, man? I'm like, I don't need to grab this chest. I don't think it's anything either. And I forgot that part. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, grab the chest. He's like, the pearl's there.
No, yeah, I just in my mind it's trash. I don't think I have it rotted in. And then I realized after the saving quit, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so tilted already. Seed just started and I'm already kind of tilted.
I see. Yeah, it was like insanely straightforward seed.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like the only like decision point was like maybe deciding how you get bombs for the booth. Like I just went to Uncle and Secret Passage. I don't know if that's what you did on the start.
Yeah, I actually just noticed the glove there early. I zoned out what the other item was, and I was trying so hard. Where do I get bombs? There's no bombs around here. Until I'm like, oh, okay, Uncle, chest has the bombs. I'll just do that because there's no other feasible, spot where you could get bombs.
Yeah,
nowhere.
I was like, maybe I should skip that and try to 50-50 Link's house, but like I also wanted the magic there for Fire Rod and Eastern anyway.
Yeah, no, you just get the bombs there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super straightforward. I saw that you did Eastern before Desert. That's something I was considering doing.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I want to dash up there, but I mean, you're not going to really go through any enemies anyways. When you're going to Eastern, that is, the first chest. So it's not like a sword. And I waited till I got the King's Team sword before going there. But it's not like it made really big difference.
Yeah, I guess it's just having a sword in Desert versus having a sword in Eastern.
Yeah, it was
not much difference either way.
Yeah.
Like since we had Hook, you can like Hook speed up the staircases there anyway, right? So
yeah. So I think that was much better. Get the Eastern sword first.
Yeah. Yeah, sucks. I feel like I was playing really clean outside of the 2 horrible mistakes. But yeah, it just doesn't matter after that. And it's just feeling sad for the whole last half of the seed.
Yeah, that feels really bad. I was a little scared in Mire as well. No, but that's why I want to see, because when I was going to Mire, I think you were just slightly behind me. Just barely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, was it pretty close before I died there?
Yeah, it definitely was. Gamo is right. You were just ever so slightly behind at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I missed the spooky there as well, so I probably fell behind off of that.
You both missed spooky.
Thank you, Wally.
Yeah, I was. Listen, Gamma. I gotta like you guys are doing fantastic conducting your own interviews here. Sometimes I have to slip in with something.
Yeah, no. No, that's why I felt behind after Mire. Like, oh my gosh, if he pulled off the spooky, he's just straight up ahead at this point. But no.
Yeah, I missed it. I kind of messed up in the first switch room. It was like I thought I was on the left, and then I walked up into the spike. I was like, oh shit, I'm still on the right side. And then, so I went around, like that was scary because I was on 1 heart at that point. I managed to go around and hit the switch and not die. But like I should have had 2 hearts, then I'm at 1 heart.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have just grabbed the heart in the room before, because of course you can't just play that stupid anti-fairy normally if you're too scared to die to it. You just walk into it instead of just doing the normal strat.
Yeah, I was scared going into where I was gonna do spooky, but I did not want to get hit by that Selfless because I was at 1.5 hearts. I'm like, if I'm at 1 heart, I'm gonna be very shaky here. So I just played it very safe. I just slashed his spin attack to bounce his stealth was away from me because I couldn't see him.
Wait, like
And at
before
the
the
same time,
spike room?
no, this is was a bombable wall. It's like
Oh, the
philosophy
wall,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be one heart.
Yeah.
For that reason, I get hit by anti-fairy or the fire snake and I'm just dead. It's over.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I was like, you kind of just had to do Mire first because that gets you the tempered.
yeah.
Plus, it's
Tempered,
not like there was
mirror,
that much safeties and other stuff.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, Mire as well. Although,
So,
like, I didn't, like, I could have done Thief Town Skullwoods first because I was save and quit from there anyway to go to Uncle or to go to Boomerang. That was where I got the flippers.
yeah, it wouldn't have been bad to do that. Like,
But I would have had to do like Moth with no tempered, so it didn't really make sense to do that order. But I would have had more safety for Maya.
yeah, yeah. That was basically the only scary part of the siege. Just doing Mire in the dark was low health.
Yeah.
Like I said, you guys just conducted your own interview. Like I got nothing. GG's to both of you. You guys put on a great race. I mean, Jamo, like you mentioned, despite the two unfortunate mishaps that you had, the fact is, you're sitting here right before Moldorm 2, so you still made this a respectable race. Gamma wasn't in the clear quite yet, and there was a moment where I think Gamma, you were in Oko mode in the Cold Stare fight, where if you take the death there, then Jamo jumps ahead because you got to figure out your magic situation to get back in.
Dude, my brain shut off after I got hit by a hill. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just standing there for like 2 seconds before I realize, what I keep spamming fire on. What the hell am I doing? Just pausing here. But yeah, I got hit icicle twice, and I was in Oko hit against a cold stare hug.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got through it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you guys both put on a heck of a race. GG's to both of you. Gamma, you get to move on. You get your rematch with Relkin in the lower bracket finals.
Yeah, I'm looking very much forward to that. Yeah, after the last race, I'm hoping that's another close one, if anything. But I'm happy to have made it this far. At this point, it's gonna be top 3. And yeah, I also wanted to give a shout out to Jamo, GG's first time coming into the spoiler scene and already making it top 4 here. So that's pretty impressive. Already knocked out quite a strong names in here in this tourney. So I was looking forward to this race versus him. So GG's to you, Jamo. I hope to see you continuing on in other ongoing tourneys, so you can get your revenge on me.
Well, Gamma, you see, you
you
didn't last long enough in Kaz boots to face Jamo. That was the thing.
Yeah,
true. I was expecting
yeah.
the semi, but
I was a charitable throw. That's what I was doing. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. Hoping I get get a nice win over Welkin, then face off against Talathar. That's the plan. I don't want Talathar to finish this tourney without a single loss. That's unacceptable. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, well, just be sure to get it all done before you have to go down to Virginia in person.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
I mean, that's only 2 weeks away.
I don't think that'd be that much of an issue. But yeah, I mean, this is a fun race to commentate, and fun race to watch. I hope you both, if you do watch this back, kind of see that you both put on a really good show, both of you.
Thanks Wally and Drossi, both of you doing commentary, and Arya are doing the tracking. Appreciate it.
Yeah, big shout outs to Arya, and of course, please give both of these guys a follow. As you've seen, they're both around a lot. They're both doing amazing things. You want to keep checking them out.
But yeah, GG Gamma, good luck on the rest of the tournament, and thank you guys for the commentary and stuff. Yeah, top 4 and only losing to Talathar and Gamma is pretty respectable for my first time playing spoiler. But I really did want to at least just play decent in this one and lose by 30 seconds or something. So it's a bit disappointing, but I think I played well outside of just a couple of things.
Yeah, I mean, you beat a lot of good runners coming through here, so no shame in that.
Yeah, did get to dodge Gem both in the winners and losers brackets, though, so definitely wasn't expecting to make it this far just because of that.
Oh boy.
But yeah, also Wall Kicks, thanks for hopping in here. It's been a while since we've done comps together.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while I'm able to jump in on comms, and this was a good time knowing that it was going to be not a very long race. So
yeah. Yes,
don't
you were
mind jumping
definitely
in when I still get to go to bed here in like 20 minutes.
right. You were definitely happy when you saw the log.
Yeah. This is a quick one, but want to give another shout out again to our runners, Gamma and Jamo. Give them a follow. Want to shout out our tracker again, Arya Stark. Give them a follow. Drosy, you don't stream, but give Drosy a follow regardless.
Maybe I'll get back to streaming one of these days.
I believe in you.
I've done it before. And yeah, for the rest of you, do keep an eye on the schedule so that you can see when the Gamma versus Relkin match hits. That will be the lower bracket finals, and winner faces Telethar. So yeah, hopefully that'll be sometime soon. And in the meantime, thank you all for watching.